What is up? Welcome to Advent of Code Day 16. I hope you're having a great time in these challenges. Today we have some tickets. So I don't know if this is a train or plane, but we are back to queue for some more traveling, and here we have some tickets. So we have our tickets, which is a series of integers, and we have nearby tickets that we were able to scan, and these are also, like our tickets, a series of integers separated by a comma. And here we have some rules, and we don't know exactly which number is which rule. But this is not a problem, because for now we just need to make sure to see what numbers match no rules at all here. So as always, we're going to paste that inside our empty file here. Oh, there are many empty spaces, okay. And we are going to be using these input. So today I don't want to create a class, I just want to do things, a bit more raw. So we need to parse that. Then when there are two spaces, we're going to parse this, then this. So I think here we're going to be splitting with the double line returns, so that we have this group, then this group, then this group. And then now we can parse. So lines of 0 is the rules const. Rules equals lines.0. Here we need to split by a line return. This is going to give us this kind of rule, and we're going to transform that into an object. So that's a bit repetitive compared to the previous days, but we're going to be using a regular expression. I think this is really good because using regular expression, we've been using quite a lot of regular expression, and this is gonna make us a bit stronger. Hopefully you've learned a thing or two in the regular expressions. So first of all, we need a number of characters, and here I'm gonna use a specific construct to match everything except a dot, except a column several times, and then the column. This we want to capture this string, and as always I like to use capturing groups. So here we're going to call that name, why not, or we're going to call that field. Actually, let's call that field. And here we need to, I think all fields are like digit dash digit or digit dash digit, so we're going to be using that. So here it should be one or several digits, and here we need to capture that. We want to capture everything, so we do like that from 1, and I'm going to copy paste that because it's going to be, we're going to be using that several times. And here this is 2, 1, and then we have or, and the same dash same, so from 2 and 2, 2. So this gives us a bunch of groups. We're going to log them, that's always what we're going to log them. Exactly, that's better. And here we should be returning groups actually. Let's check this out. Not they, actually, instead of logging them here, we want to log them here to make sure our rules object is looking nice. So we are on day 16. Let's check this first thing. Class 1357. Yeah, that is looking great. It works with several numbers, so we are good here for the rules parsing. This is especially going to be focusing on parsing things. So here const our ticket, we're going to be just using lines of 1 now. That split, we split again with a line return, and we take, so here we're going to have this in the first part of the array, and this is the second index of the array. So we're going to be using here our ticket, and then const other tickets. This is going to be line of 2. Here we're going to split again, so I'm copy pasting to not type that one more time. And here we need to make sure we remove the first element of the array, and we're going to be using shift. Shift is going to be just removing that, so we have just this list. Actually, we could parse these. We're going to be doing that actually. So here we're going to be doing dot split with the comma, and we're going to map to a parse int of x. And the reason of that is we don't want to have strings, but we want to have integers. That's going to be a lot better for our future. So here we need to say, actually, so this is going to be a let. And here we need to say other tickets is equal to other tickets dot we map, so that for each ticket we return ticket, we split with by the comma, and we pass as integers. So this is rather long lines, but you know, today we're like writing a bit dirtier code. You know, that's fine. So I think we're just going to be logging here our tickets, and then other tickets, so that's we can be sure that we have done a good job parsing all of these, and I think we have done a good job. So we have done a correct parsing, and now is going to happen. Now we're going to do the most important thing, which is for each value we need to check whether one rule is matching or not. So we're going to need to create a function match rule. We're going to be doing things slowly, you know. Match rule, here there's going to be a rule, and here there's going to be a value. So we're going to be doing things very slowly. We're going to take one rule, we're going to check for one value if this is correct or not, and then we're going to go through each rule for each value. So that's going to be a bit of a high complexity. We might need to optimize that in the second step, but you know, sometimes it's good to go slow and do things the right way. So here we're going to just match rule. We're going to check for a specific rule. We're going to check if the value is above or equal, oh, by the way, 1, 3. When there is 1, 3, does that mean inclusive, such as 3, 5 are both valid for this field, but 4 is not? Okay, and 1 is inclusive, 1 is valid as well. So we need to make sure the value is above rule.from 1 and value below or equal rule.to 1, and we're going to put that in parentheses because we want to make sure this is either the value is within from 1 and to 1, or we can actually copy paste that, you know, or it is within the second interval. So this is matching a rule, and now we're going to say match all rules value, and I'm going to say for of, little for of, rule of rules. If there is no match for a rule and a value, then we return false. Otherwise, we continue iterating until the end, and if everything is matching, we just return true. And this early return is going to speed things up a little bit, so that's why I'm doing it. And now we're going to be able to iterate through each of the value. So here, I believe we don't care about our ticket, our own ticket. Yeah, we just ignore your ticket for now. So we just care about the nearby tickets. So actually, let me rename this. We can rename that to nearby tickets. That's going to be a bit more easy to understand. And here we're just going to be doing a for of, you know, ticket of nearby tickets, and what do we need to check? We need to check ticket dot map. So actually here we need to, what do we need to check? We need to ticket scanning error rate. So we need to actually check all values that are invalid. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So basically we need to, we can do another for loop here. For of value of ticket, we can do that actually. And here we're gonna say, we need a sum as well. Let's sum equals 0. We're gonna say match all rules. If it is not matching all the rules, then sum plus equal value. And this should give us our answer. You know what? This is time to switch into debug mode. So 284, this is definitely not the right output. So here we're going to be logging the value here. And we're going to check. Okay, we have far too many values that are returning something. So we said if it doesn't match the rule, then we return false. If this value matches all the rules, then we return true. So it looks like we are returning false far too many times. So here we're going to need to display the value and the rule. So this is going to help us learn a bit more. Okay, you might see already what's happening. Here, these are integers, and I don't like, these are strings, sorry, and I don't like that at all. I believe this is really the kind of things where we could have an issue. So we're going to parse everything into strings, you know, parse int, and we're going to be doing that a couple of times. So here this is from to, and here this is to 1, to 1, to 2, and to 2. So yeah, just making sure that everything is, oh what, 2, 1, oof, I made some mistakes here. 2, 1, 2, 2, let's double check. Yeah, this is looking good now. So it looks like we still have an issue here. Let's say, okay, 7, oh, wait. It needs, okay, so I think I didn't do a good job in this function here, because here I'm saying if it needs, let me repeat, it needs to not match everything. So as long as it is matching something, we need to return true. Otherwise, we need to return false. So here is match at least one rule. Yeah, that's the new function. If it doesn't match at least one rule, then we do that. Okay, now we have 71, I believe. This is the final answer. And 71 is the answer that we are expecting. So this is good. We can go and take this output that looks very big. This input, sorry, that looks very big. Shouldn't be a problem. Oh, nan. Nan is definitely a problem. Ha. So we're going to be putting back our console log here, because we have a nan in the end. I believe this could be an extra line return somewhere. And you know what? I have this function here that removes the empty strings. So we're going to be using here for the rules. We're going to be using here for the ticket and here for the nearby tickets. And this function basically it's taking a list of strings, and if there is a string that is empty, then this is returning false, and we are just removing it from the array. Let's try that again. Okay, this worked. This was, I found the problem. It wasn't too crazy. It was like a really typical problem that I had a couple of times. And we're good. Let's go to part 2. I'm gonna quickly read that. Okay, this is really interesting and challenging at the same time. We have the same input, and now what we need to do is first we need to filter out the tickets that have an issue. So we found some tickets that had an issue, we need to remove them, discard them, and then we need to keep only the valid one, and we need to know which thing corresponds to which and the index in the array. So for example, class might correspond to this or this or this, but if we look all tickets, we see that class should be the one in the middle, I believe. Yeah, that's what they say. So we're gonna need to find this out, and actually we just care about the fields that start with departure. Interesting. So we're gonna be doing something very not very optimized, but optimized in the way that we're just gonna care about the fields that are called departure. So the problem, if we do this, I think we're not going to be doing this little optimization. We're just going to be focusing on this. So let's valid tickets. So now we need to take into account our tickets, including our ticket. So I guess we can say that our ticket is obviously valid. Otherwise, that would be a bit weird, right? So we're going to create a function that is called all tickets, and that just contain our tickets for now. And when there is an issue, when there is no issue here, we can wait. So here there is an issue in this ticket. So let's say here, let valid equal true. Here we say valid equal false. And now we can say if valid, then we do all tickets that push, all tickets that push the current ticket. So this gives us a list here of all the valid tickets only. And this is a big list, so what we're going to do is we're going to take only this now. I believe this doesn't contain tickets with issues. Yep, it doesn't contain tickets with issues, but could that be a problem? Yeah, I know what we do. We're going to take the first input here, because we need to debug step by step to make sure we are not doing anything bad. And here, all tickets just contain those 2 tickets. So we're good. It contains the 2 tickets starting with 7, which are this one and this one. So we are good with this simple step. Now let's hop into the step that is a bit more complex. And what we need to do is we need to assign each group to a specific ID. That's going to be interesting. So I think we're going to need to go through each ticket and then through each position. No, first of all, we're going to go for each position. So between I and my ticket, oh wait, it's not, it's our ticket. rticket.length. So we're gonna do one field by one field, and then here we're gonna check for off on all tickets. And here we're gonna check the ticket of I. And we're gonna check for all of these tickets, we're gonna check what fields are matching. So here we need to check, I think we need to create a map here. So failed. I mean, we're going to create a set, new set. So I think I'm going too far with this set. So I think here we need to check one field at a time. So we're going to do a for off here. And the for off is going to be for each rule here. For rule of rules. And now we can go through each ticket. So that might be quite long because we check. I think actually, let me check here. So we're going to check all the first position here. And for all of the first position, we're going to go, we're going to use the departure location first for all of them, then this. I think that can get pretty big and pretty long, but I think we're gonna anyway here be removing these, so this is okay because this is gonna make things faster. So anyway, let's do that. For each rule we say let valid true, and here we check if the match rule function is going to be helpful here. If match rule of rule and ticket of I, no, if there is no match here, then we say valid equal false. And actually here we can break from the most inner loop, because we know that this rule won't match this ID here. And I am hoping that there is only one rule per ID. So here we're going to be logging to just check that. We're going to be logging and we're going to say I, and we're going to say if this is valid. In that case, we say, okay, the index I is matching the rule. And hopefully, if we do that, okay, a little issue here. I forgot a closing parenthesis happens. Okay, so here we have an issue, and the issue is that for a specific field, the field 1, there are several rules that match. So there might be an issue in the code, you know, because here what I'm saying is that the rule class matches the field 1 and the rule row matches the field 1, and here class and row and seat. So basically here the field 2 should be seat, then the field 1. Oh, this is interesting. This is not expected at all. Class, row, seat. Those are the three things, right? Class, row, and seat. Okay. I think I understand what's happening here. We have row that match the position 0. So we shouldn't be using it anymore because it is just one match. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So we're going to have to create an array. I don't think this is the most optimized way to go, but I think this is going to be fine. So rule and index I. So in the end here, actually rule is going to be just rule.field. So here we are going to have like some kind of a Sudoku where, oh wait, what is this log here? Let me just remove that. I like to have a clean output. So we have a row that is matching index 0, and then for index 1 we have those two options, but we know that row is the only one matching index 0, so there is no other possible ways to for a row here. So then here it should be class. Then when we here there are three matches, class, row, and seed, but we know that class is 1 and row is 0. So that's going to be the challenge, you know, making sure we do that correctly. So I think what we should be doing, we should be checking, okay, for each index, how many values are there, how many possible rules are there, and if there is just one, then this is the one, and then we do that several times. So we're going to be doing that. While matches that length is above rules.length. So here we need to make sure there is, each rule has one match. That is it. That is what we want to be doing. And so we do this while loop and we check for each index. So for so we're going to be doing this. This is our for each index. And here we check if the matches dot length, by the way, matches, it's going to be a let because we're going to be assigning it later. Matches dot length, no. If matches dot filter in m, so m dot index is equal to I. So if we check const m, we're going to be doing that. So what I'm having in m is I am having how many rules match a specific index. So rules matching current index. And we check if rules matching current index dot length is equal to 1. In that case, we can remove, we can say matches is equal matches dot filter m, and we need to make sure either m dot field. So now we know here that row is index 0 and there is just row matching the index 0. That's good. So we need to remove this row and this row. So we need to make sure in the array all the elements are either different from the current rule. What is this rule? So this is this of 0 dot field, or m dot index is not the same as this dot index. Cannot spell. Okay. So after this, we make sure that we remove this row and this row. Let's try that again. This is an infinite loop, so we have a little bit of an issue here. Let's, you know what, let's just log here, because I have no, I think that was a bit complex. So okay, so we have an infinite loop, as you can see by in the terminal, and oh, what I forgot to do is to put matches here. So I should have something that just stops right away, because for some reason terminal is not stopping right away. Okay, so here I have either zero. Okay, I have 0 here, 0 matches. That is a problem. So that is a major issue. We get rid of the 0 here. So here I'm going to make things a bit cleaner. Nothing crazy, but basically here we have rules matching the current index, and if we are just one rule, then we know this is the current rule, and we need to make sure in the matches either we have the match.field that is different from the current rule, or we have the match.index that is different, and if we have both, that's fine. Okay, no. I'm making a mistake here. I'm making a mistake. So you know what? When this is a bit complex, I like to make clear if here. We say if we have the same field name. Let me remove this thing here. Otherwise we return true, and if we have the same field name, we need to make sure we have the same index. So if we have the same field name, we need to make sure we have the same index, otherwise we remove all of the other rules. So for example, if you have yeah, I'm not going to say an example here, but that is working. I just want to, we just need to log now the matches in the end to see if we have one match per field. We have just row. No. So I'm going to be logging the matches here. I'm going to be logging the matches there. So and we're going to be logging the current rule. So it's taking a bit of time, but I think we're like in a good position here. So the current rule is row index 0, and we want to remove all rules that are not row index 0. So we say if a field is equal to the current field, and so if the field is the same, then we need to make sure the index is the same, otherwise this is false. And if this isn't true, then we always want to keep everything, like classes, want to keep everything. So there is some weirdness here. This filter didn't work. as expected. So filter, let's make sure we're doing the right thing. It returns the element of an array the elements of the array that meet a specific condition in a callback function. So basically, in that case, we return that, and otherwise we always return true. So it should always return everything else. This is interesting. Oh wait, look at that. This is not field here, this is rule. I've been using, my bad. So here, this is rule, because here yeah. Let's try that. Okay, so here if I comment out this and this, we have exactly what we wanted. It means we have been able to assign one rule to one specific index. So this is really great. I think yeah, I think this is good. And now we need to I think we need to run that on the full index now before we do the next steps, just to make sure this is taking enough time. This is very quick actually to process, and you see we have everything now. So now next step is just to do matches. We're gonna do another filter here, and here we're gonna say m.rule that starts with departure, and here we want const relevant fields, departure fields, making variables that are a bit more descriptive. So this is good, and we want to do we're gonna do another filter. You know what? And we're gonna take our ticket here, and we're gonna do our ticket.filter value index, and we need to check that. Oh, you know what? That's a bit too complex. We're just gonna do a simple for of here, because otherwise that's a field of departure fields, and here we need to check our ticket of field.index. And I think with that we should have like all of the tickets, but we need to do something with them. We need to multiply them together. So const let result equal 1 and result multiply equal. So by the way, quick note, when you do a sum you initialize it to zero, and when you do multiply several things you initialize it to 1. Just a little thing not to mess at the end of this challenge. And we have a huge number that I'm quite confident should be working. And it is working. Thank you very much for the support in the stream. Today I've tried to speak a bit more about the details of what I'm thinking about, try to go a bit more in details. So feel free to leave a comment if you think that's better than the previous days, or if you'd like me to go a bit faster. All the feedback is super helpful, so thank you. Please drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.